Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie Rose, and today I'm going to do the Nope book tag. Now, I know I already did a tag video, but I'm trying to give myself as much time as possible to finish as many books as possible for my Book of the Month Club collection. I have 3 books left to finish. And 2 of them are really thick. The one I'm reading right now is over 400 pages. So I'm going to try and get those finished, and then that video is going to come out on Friday. Rain or shine, all books finished or not. I'm probably not going to have them all finished, but I will review that club and some of the books included to the best of my ability. So, this book tag, it originated with a booktube book. I will post a link and all of the questions in the description below as usual. There are 16 questions. A lot of the books that I use as the answers I do not have in physical form or in any form. So most of these I am just going to list off. Question number 1, a nope ending. A book ending that made you go nope, either in denial, rage, or simply because the ending was crappy. The worst thing I can think of off the top of my head was the ending of the Animorph series, which, by the way, that series has over 50 books, and that's not counting spin-offs. I have not read all of them. But the ending to the series was just really disappointing to me, and I know that the author, K.A. Applegate, was trying to go for more gritty rather than a happy-go-lucky feel, but with the way that the series was, I felt like it really should have taken a bit more characteristic tone, I guess. Number 2, nope, protagonist, a main character that you dislike and drives you crazy. If you saw my video about looking for Alaska, you'll know that Miles drove me up the wall. I also find an annoyance with Bella Swan from Twilight. She's obsessive, and I don't like obsessive. Number 3, nope series. A series that turned out to be one huge pile of nope after you've invested all of that time and energy on it, or a series that you gave up on because it wasn't worth it anymore. For this one, going with the Inheritance Cycle, of which I have the first book. I fell in love with these books when I was a teenager, and then come to find out that he had started writing the books whenever he was about my age when I was reading them. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I also liked that he was homeschooled, and so I really enjoyed the books. I never finished the last book. I started reading Brissinger. I don't know how far I got into it. I borrowed it from the library, and I must have been like a quarter of the way through, and I gave up. I'm pretty sure that this book, okay, is the thinnest out of all of them. No, these books, they are super long, and it just stopped being interesting. Number 4, nope, popular pairing. A ship you don't support. This would require one to know all of the popular ships so that one could dispute them. I don't know all of the popular ships. The one that I do know that I don't like, for no particular reason, is Harry and Draco in Harry Potter. However, for no particular reason, I do support Draco and Hermione just because Hermione is the closest one that I align myself with in the books, and I have a thing for the misunderstood bad boy characters, and Draco is that. I really liked Draco. Number 5, nope, plot twist. A plot twist you didn't see coming or didn't like. I don't think I've ever read anything like that recently, so they're not fresh on my mind. Most of these that I come across that I can't stand are in movies or TV shows. I think the closest I can think of right now is The Maze Runner. There were several twists in there that I didn't expect, and several of them that I didn't particularly care for, but that's just a taste. Number 6. No protagonist actions, decisions. A character decision that made you shake your head nope. I'm sure I've had plenty of these. Just in general, anytime a character says or does something that you as the reader know is just going to have disastrous consequences, but the character just doesn't see that, not because it's something that only the reader can see, but because he's too stupid or not thinking clearly or whatever. The best example I have of this, I think, would be from The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I have that one on audiobook, and oh my god. It's a really good thriller, and the main character is just, she does so many stupid things, but it's not unwarranted. It does go along with her character, but it just, so many cringes. Number 7, and I'm going to stop putting nope at the beginning of each of these. Genre. A genre you will never read. I dislike Westerns. I never say never completely, but the likelihood of me just going and picking up a Western to read on my own is very, very, very slim. Number 8, book formatting you hate and avoid buying until it comes out in a different edition. Books with a movie version cover. I do not like those. I prefer to have the real book. If I want like a poster, I'm going to buy a poster. And I don't want a poster. I'll download a picture on my computer and use it as a wallpaper for like a week. Number 9, a trope that makes you go nope. I had to look these up because when it comes to tropes, those aren't just cliches, those are tools. So I actually went to tvtropes.com and found a few that I know I don't like, or at least that make me roll my eyes. Adults are useless, where the main characters are a bunch of kids and they can't get any help from the adults because either they're not believed, or because the adults are powerless, or because the adults are causing the problem. Too many superpowers. This would be like a Mary Sue, where they just win the superhero lottery, so to speak, and they just all of a sudden have like all these different things that they keep getting. And the viewers are goldfish, or the readers are goldfish. It's just where the author is underestimating the reader and is just really, really trying to ram a point in, or where they state something that doesn't really need to be stated, and you read it and you're like, what, you think I'm stupid? I figured that out. As an author, you shouldn't have to explain explicitly to a reader what's going on, and you shouldn't have to overstate it. Number 10, a book recommendation that is constantly hyped and pushed at you that you simply refuse to read. I do not have any of these. I have gotten book recommendations that I haven't gone out and read, but nothing that's been pushed on me that I absolutely refuse to read. I'm generally willing to read any book recommendation unless I have issues with it. It was never recommended to me, but I'll never read 50 Shades of Grey, I don't think. There's too many issues with that. Alright, number 11. A cliche or writing pet peeve that always makes you roll your eyes. Well, back with the ramming a point home. That one, but also the main character being like, oh, I'm so homely and unattractive and nobody likes me and I'm clumsy, but everybody has a crush on them. Number 12, love interest. The love interest that's not worthy of being one. A character you don't think should have been a viable love interest. I'm not usually too critical of romances in books, unless the character just seems completely unwarranted. And those would generally be any love interests that are very obviously there just out of obligation for there to be a love interest. And one in particular that I don't like, that I always hated, was Ginny in Harry Potter. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who love the idea of Ginny and Harry, but it did not appeal to me. And it just seems so out of the blue, just all of a sudden Ginny's there, all of a sudden they're together. At least that's how it felt to me. But anytime a love interest seems to exist out of obligation for there to be one, it just feels lazy, and I don't like lazy writing. Number 13, a book that shouldn't have existed that made you say nope. Now, whenever I saw this tag, I wanted to put this book in there, and so this is the best spot for me to put it. This book. Red Harvest by Joe Schreiber. Here, look. That's as far as I got. This is a DNR. And there were two things that turned me off to this book, because I bought it because I love Star Wars and I wanted more books in the universe. Two things turned me off. This is the first one. All right, somebody got kidnapped. Listen to me. I don't know who you are, but I am in possession of a very special set of skills. If you bring my sister back right now, unharmed, then I'll let you go. But if you don't, I promise you, I will track you down. I will find you, and I will make you pay. Does that sound familiar? That's enough to suck you right out of a book, and I'm supposed to get lost in these, not have reality come crashing down all around me, and having an explicit reference to Taken in a sci-fi book. A sci-fi book that is set in a completely different universe, that does not cut it. That does not fly. That made me so mad. And then the other thing was just, I realized that this book was written purely so there could be a zombie book in the Star Wars universe. So, no. It is a zombie book. I was expecting something very different out of this book. Can you tell I'm mad? Alright, we're almost done. Number 14, a scary villain or antagonist you would hate to cross and would make you run in the opposite direction. It. First thing that came to mind. That thing is scary. Number 15, death. A character death that still haunts you. I guess I haven't read very many books with a haunting character death, but just ones that really made me upset when I read them, and then whenever I think about them, I'm like, oh, that's right. And if you haven't read It or The Maze Runner, spoiler alert, okay, Eddie from It and Newt from Maze Runner. Sad. Sad, sad. But especially the It one. Alright, number 16, last one. An author you have had a bad experience reading for and have decided to quit. James Patterson. When I was 15, I loved the Maximum Ride books. Actually, I think I started whenever I was 14. I loved those books so much. However, as the story went on, it just got more and more and more cliche. It was supposed to be a trilogy, and almost everything was resolved by the end. As much as needed to be resolved was resolved, I felt, and then he just started adding more and more books. And it really just felt like he was selling out. And then later on I discovered, oh, he pumps out a novel every month, so it's all about the money for him. At least that's how it feels. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be writing for money because you want to make money. It's your job. But for that to be all that seems to matter, and not the quality of your books, when you're taking your time on the book and you're not rushing it and you're not using it just for money, you can put a lot of heart in it, and they lost heart. And I felt like he was a sellout and just bleeding it dry. It's a bit like in Pirates of the Caribbean, and now we're switching over to a movie because I love movies too. I just kind of see it as an extension of reading. Pirates of the Caribbean was supposed to be a trilogy, and then they realized, oh, we're making so much money off of this, and now we have 2 more movies, and it's a matter of opinion whether those movies are good or not. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tag, and as I mentioned before, I am planning on doing a Book of the Month Club review this week, as well as a review of most, if not all, of the books that I got in my subscription 2 years ago. Hopefully I will be able to get a lot of reading done. And some of these books are a bit tedious, so the going is slow. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Happy reading!